What's up, everybody? Welcome to Racing Dudes Live. I am Magic. With me is Aaron Halterman and Vinny from Picks by Dynasty. Gentlemen, we've got a great day of racing action going on. We're already in the middle of it. Fair Grounds Turfway Park, Gulfstream about to go off with their finale. Aaron, I'll start with you. How has everything been going? I said that the Rockets have been blasting off pretty strongly at Turfway so far.
Yeah, it's been a really, really good day so far. Just to beat Art Collector there at Fairgrounds as well. Stupidly bet the race, but did get Art Collector beat, and so I was happy about that, even if I did dumb things with my wagering. But hopefully some of you that came to the side and saw that West Willpower was the pick did something smarter than I did. But anyway, it's been a really good day. It's been fun. Shit, it started at 6 a.m. and we're still here. So doing great. Got another coffee in me. Let's go.
We're still here. Vinny's with us, and Vinny, good to have you joining us. A big reason I wanted you on, not just because you're a fun guy to talk horse racing with, but you did the previews for us for both the Bourbonette Oaks and the Jeff Ruby Stakes at racingdudes.com and youtube.com/racingdudes. So because of that, and because we're covering those races here, I wanted to bring you on. Let's look at the Bourbonette Oaks. We've got about 7 minutes here to post. You can see the field here on the screen if you're watching with us right now. Botanical was my top pick in this race. I know you really liked her as well. Tell me about Botanical.
She's ever since she shipped the Turfway, she's been great. She definitely seems like a horse that enjoys the synthetic surface. Brad Cox he's just got so many talented 3-year-olds at this point. Besides Pletcher, I mean, I think there's a real shot that Cox could sweep the Derby and the Oaks, barring that Pletcher doesn't win the Derby. But he's got horses everywhere, and I think Botanical is probably one of the, like, I don't think she's up near the class of wet paint that he has, but for this field, I don't see why she's going to run a bad race here.
Aaron, she's done a very great job racing here at Turfway Park in the last couple of starts, but you can also say the same thing about Flashy Gem, the other Brad Cox horse that's in here. So when you're looking to play this race, did you put Botanical on top?
Yeah, I'm with Vinny. I like Botanical a lot. Caught the eye very quickly when she came over here to Turfway. You're watching at night in November. You're kind of bored. And you're like, damn, that horse just won by 10. That's crazy. And you kind of make, we'll circle her. We'll see what happens. She comes back in an allowance, crushes, then a stakes, crushes. So I'm with Vinny. I really like Botanical in this spot a lot. Magic, to piggyback off what you said, though, it seems like if she's going to get beat today, it could be by the stablemate, number 8, Flashy Jim. It's weird that this horse, I guess it's not weird. The horse looked good on synthetic last time out, so maybe just try to throw her in there as well. Johnny V gets aboard this one, but Chris Landeros rode both of them last time out. Feels to me like Chris Landeros, since he's here at Turfway, kind of had the choice and chose Botanical there. So I can't disagree with anything Vinny was talking about there on the preview or here on the live stream. It feels like Botanical is way the one to beat after these performances at Turfway.
Yeah, you've got a horse in Botanical who is very much in form. The buyers have approved every single start, and she's making her 6th career start here. She did win off of Lasix in the Cincinnati Trophy Stakes last out, so that's been a big thing that I've noticed with a lot of Derby and Oaks preps is that horses who win on Lasix and then go off Lasix for the next start don't do too well. And you do have the situation with Flashy Gem here, but she's also going to be 2nd start off of the layoff. A filly that really did nothing wrong, only 2 starts early in her 2-year-old career and won the second one. Both of those were on turf, so you have to think that, with especially the way she ran on synthetic last time out, should be able to translate that over. Let's go ahead and talk about if we want to do an exacta here, for example. If we're looking to play somebody underneath Botanical, because that's who we all like. Vinny, where did you go for 2nd place here?
I went with the Brandon Walsh Ireland horse there. Bolive? I don't know how to say it. I could not find it. Could not find a replay. Honestly, she's come in second her last 2 efforts. Her last effort was at a mile. She came in second, but she gets a rad. And like, I know he's like, this isn't the horse that he's here to ride, but still, that's like, it's a pretty big deal getting IRAD for your North American debut. I really didn't see a lot out of this field besides the 2 Cox horses. I didn't like the Mark Cassie horse, and I am a big fan of Cassie. So I would honestly just put the 2 and the 8 underneath Botanical. And I know it's chalky, but hope for the best.
I mean, there is plenty of ways we've been on this show before, Aaron, where we've taken a short price favorite, like say an Arabian Night in the Southwest Stakes, and you find the long shot like a Red Route 1 to play underneath in second, and suddenly it's like, well, you had a 3-5 winner, but you still ended up with a 16-1 exacta. So on that note, Botanical is your first choice. Give me a cold exacta who comes in second here.
Vinny and I is on the same page here for this race. I put the 8 in second, and I just feel like it's a 2-horse race. They look better than all the other horses on paper, these 2 Brad Cox runners. And to me, I just think the 5 out kicks the 8 turning for home. I think the 8 sticks right there and has a big shot right there for second. And, I don't mind taking a flyer on the 2. It's a little bit of the unknown horse, obviously, but you get IRAD aboard. That's a really good sign. But for me, Magic, I'm just going to go straight 4-8 exacta and see how it shakes out.
Right now at Fairgrounds, by the way, we have the Muniz Memorial Stakes is about to go off here. 2 Emmys is going to scratch out of this, and horse. I'm sorry, did he scratch? He's not listed as scratch.
Yeah.
He is scratched.
Just scratched him. Yeah.
There you go. Chris Miles says that the scratch 2 Emmy stinks. He's got 18 times to atone. Who was your favorite here, Aaron? Where did you go in this race at Fairgrounds?
Well, I went with 2 Emmys, so. Listen, my whole thing today was I'm beating Art Collector's ass and I'm beating Atone's ass. I didn't like either one of them. They're not really that reliable horses. They won. I didn't go to the wedding at Pegasus Day. I'm not going to go to the funeral today. We got Art Collector beat. But now with 2 Emmys out, Atone does look a lot better up there on the front end. So I think he'll be tough here. I've kind of scratched into him a bit. I like Spooky Channel a little bit as well, the 5-horse. But I'm with Christopher. It really sucks that 2 Emmys scratched out of this race.
Vinny, the Jeff Ruby Stakes winner from last year, Tiz the Bomb, is in this race, running on whatever we're going to call this course that's painted green at Fairgrounds. Tiz the Bomb 8-1 from post 8 there. Seems like decent odds on him, but was Tiz the Bomb at your top pick in this race?
I was not. I actually landed on Spooky Channel. So that's me and Aaron kind of saw this race the same. I was also 2 Emmy Spooky Channel, so I kind of bummed that the 2 Emmy scratched, but hopefully there's enough pace for Spooky Channel now. Not 100%.
Well, it's looking like, unfortunately for Chris Maiello, it's looking like Atone isn't going to have it today. He's getting passed off the turn here. It's crazy. There's an entire turf course to the inside that's not even being used because of just how piss poor the Fairgrounds turf course is. Rising Empire might steal this. Is he going to be able to get there? Oh, no.
Spooky Channel's going to get him on the outside.
You guys got it. You guys both got Spooky Channel home in the Muniz Memorial Classic here.
My stream's like 5 seconds behind you guys. I just hit the middle of the stretch.
Vinny's like, what are you talking about? He's still sitting towards the back there.
Oh, yeah. No,
great effort.
Yeah, God, that turf course is just so ugly.
It's bad. It's so bad. I mean,
it's bad.
We're all like I know everybody on this stream. I know the 2 of you. Aaron, obviously, you're very good at your job because you built the company. Vinny works for the state of New York. He's also very good at his job. Can you imagine being so bad at your job that you ruined not just Churchill Downs' turf course, but Fairgrounds' turf course? And then they bought Colonial Downs. Like, I'm worried about Colonial Downs' racing this summer, you guys. Like, this is you're going to take one of the best turf courses in America and give it to CDI? Ooh.
Right. God, it's just so bad. Like, I just don't understand how you do that. Like, it's just so bad.
Yeah, Aaron, it's almost like Oaklawn's is better at this point.
You're right. Yeah. What's interesting is, that Churchill Downs turf course used to be very good. I mean, it's a course that you enjoyed running on for sure. And then, of course, you're off that now. And then you come down to Fairgrounds, and this was one of the courses in the winter that it's like, well, it doesn't drain very well. But when they run on it, when it's dry, it's a nice course. It's ruined. But listen, look at Gulfstream. it's ruined. It looks like shit right now with a week to go for championship meet. So where can you run on the turf right now? Santa Anita, they still have a nice course, but it's really bad right now, and I don't understand why this is so hard to get figured out. But you're right, Colonial, by and large, is one of the best turf courses in the country. I'm very nervous for what might happen.
Yeah, it was a nice course. We'll see if it stays the same there. But a very nice win there from Spooky Channel. Nice job from Vinny, and Aaron to get Spooky Channel home there. Sorry I didn't ask you before the race went off. I was paying attention too late to things and missed it there.
One thing I really want to point out before we go on, Magic. Again, this is a lesson. If you don't like horses in a big stakes race before, and they win, and you scratch your head like, I don't know why that happened. That doesn't mean you need to jump on them the next time they run. You can stick with that opinion. And so if you did that today at Fair Grounds, you had those Pegasus winners coming back, and you're able to beat both of them. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, if you liked them that day and they won, it's okay to keep playing them. But if you didn't like them one day and they come in another race, it's like, I don't know about this horse, but they won last time out, so I better jump on them. No, don't do that. Keep that opinion strong. And then if they can beat you over and over and over, maybe you jump off of and eventually. But don't let one race, kind of throw your judgment. That's something I had to learn a long time ago.
That's actually something I learned from you back when Lauban won the Jim Dandy Stakes. You can take you back in time to how long ago I learned that lesson was. I remember following the racing dudes. Lauban won the Jim Dandy, and you guys on Blinkers Off the next week said every single horse that he beat, throw them off. Do not use them because those are not good horses if they lost to a maiden in Lauban in that spot. And it worked out well in the Trevor Stakes next time out. 6 minutes to post here at Turfway Park for the Bourbonette Oaks. This is a 50-point prep race for the Kentucky Oaks. 4-5 favoritism, no surprise here. It's on the 5 Botanical. You're getting 6-1 on her Bradcock stablemate, Flashy Gem, the 8 horse. The number 2, Bolivet for Brendan Walsh, Art Ortiz Jr., the Invader, is sitting there at 4-1. Aaron, to me, the fact that she's 4-1 off of a decent resume overseas, but nothing that really wows you, is that so much of a testament to her potential, or is it just this is a field where there's a lot of horses that are either not good or we don't know how to play them?
I'll take a third option. I think it's a testament to what people do when Art Ortiz Jr. jumps on a horse, especially when he's not at his home track. And he's not here to ride this horse. Let's be clear. However, he is on the horse. I think it makes a big difference. I would be willing to bet if you switched Irad on the 1 and put Hernandez on the 2, you'd see a flip of the odds, right? I think that's really what it's all about right now. People are betting Irad. Also, look, she is the unknown horse, and I don't hate if you're playing this horse. I do hate the price a little bit as she just keeps getting pounded, but she's the unknown in a race where we do know the 5's really good, and after that, we're kind of unsure. So I get it, but I think Irad being aboard is making this horse take a lot of money that, quite frankly, she probably shouldn't be taking.
Vinny, is that for you kind of how you see the situation? Irad jumps on and everybody's intrigued. Because that's what it was for me. I wouldn't have used this horse in the pick 5. And then I saw Irad jumped aboard. I'm like, well, shit. If Irad likes her, I've got to like her too.
Yeah. Unless somebody out there figured out where to find the replays for the last few races, there's really nothing to go on here besides Irad jumping on. So But how many times does Irad do this? He goes somewhere for a day and he jumps on a horse that he probably should be double-digit odds. The horse gets bet down and then wins easily. So it's just hard to discount it, which is why I use the 2.
Yeah, it reminds me, Aaron, of a little bit of say Mahoning Valley when they have Steel Sprint Valley Stakes Day. You suddenly get one Ortiz brother that jumps in there and they'll win 5 or 6 races, or a Castellano or a Rosario. Some big name jockey goes into a small colony just for a day and just happens to clean up, and that's kind of what you happen to see that a lot here. So at Turfway Park, we do have the defending Kentucky Derby connections of trainer Eric Reed and jockey Sonny Leone here. They've got the 9. She Will Ghost You, a daughter of Gervin out of a Ghost Zapper mare that broke her maiden last time out, but it was her first time routing. Aaron, do you think she's got any potential here? Second time routing, now she's facing winners for the first time. Is there any chance she can get the job done?
Well, one thing is for sure, if she doesn't get the job done, they can go sue all the other connections for cheating or something like that and drag it out for a couple of years. So we got good news. She's either going to win or we're going to have a lawsuit on her hands. So either way, it'll be a great story for horse racing, right?
That's so great. If you don't know what Aaron's talking about, the Lucas Classic from last October, late September, it was Hot Rod Charlie beat Rich Strike in that race at Churchill Downs, and afterwards there was a belief that maybe Hot Rod Charlie, there was a photo that looked like maybe he had toe grabs on that you're only supposed to use for the turf course. They fought it. Eric Reed and the owner, they all decided, hey, we're gonna fight this one. It didn't work out. They ended up deciding that was just a clump of dirt that was on the horseshoe for Hot Rod Charlie. Vinny, it's the end of March. Did you think this was coming back up? I thought for sure this was done. I thought even Eric Reed said, like, I'm done whining about this. We lost.
Yeah, I was looking at the article earlier that Blood Horse posted, and like it says that like they have evidence that the Hot Rod Charlie had an unfair advantage, and my only thought is like, is that picture literally like their only piece of evidence? And like, did I miss something? Like that's what we're going off of, that he had an unfair advantage off of one photo that somebody posted on Twitter. Like, wow. Like this honestly kind of reminds me of when California Chrome's Connections threw a hissy fit after the Belmont. Like you lost. Take the loss. It's not like he ran bad. He ran second. And did really running second in the Lucas Classic really hurt his stud value that much? Probably not. It's a grade 3. And like that's like their entire argument. And it absolutely ridiculous.
I agree with that. Yeah, the fact that they argued it hurt his stud value. I'm like, he's a son of Keen Ice that nobody is lining up to
yeah,
try
right?
and breed to. So yeah, sure, we'll throw a grandson of Curlin that backdoored his way into winning the Kentucky Derby. That's who we're going to go ahead and use here. But hey, all right, let's focus back here on the race. We've got they're 0 minutes to post now. They're starting to head towards the gate for the Bourbonette Oaks. 4-5 favorites still holding strong on the 5 Botanical. 3-1 favoritism now in Bolivay. I would say, gentlemen, at this point that 3-1 is a little too short of a price to play, or at least to win, when Botanical is sitting there at 4-5. But one horse we haven't talked about yet, AG Bullet, we'll call her Silver Bullet, the 11 horse invading from California. This is a turf horse trying synthetic for the first time, but she's unbeaten in 2 turf starts, including the Lady Shamrock Stakes on the turf at San Diego Park last time out. Humberto Rispoli has never ridden her, yet he shows up at Turfway Park today to ride her. Frankie Dettori was over in Dubai today, so they said, all right, we'll call Rispoli next one up. Aaron, I'll start with you. AG Bullet, Silver Bullet. I know this is a Mike Somich horse that he wishes was a better price when she broke her maiden. Did you use her? Did you like her at all in this spot?
You know, I think this horse is pretty solid, and I am really interested to see how she runs today. I would use her underneath. I do think she is kind of an interesting horse underneath here a little bit. I did not use on my ticket, but I think she is one that does make sense underneath a little bit. You know, the biggest thing about her that's interesting to me, 4 races, 4 different jockeys now, right? Bravo was on when she actually broke her maiden. Dettori was on last time. Her debut, Molinado's on, and now you got Rispoli. So, you know, she's got to be used to having that carousel of jockeys aboard her back there. But I kind of want to see what she does here. Also, you know, a lot of speed from this horse. There's a lot of speed in the race. She draws all the way to the outside. I don't know if that's going to set up real well for her. Not for me today, no.
Vinny, the only time that she lost, it was her debut. It was her only time trying dirt, and she lost to Faiza, Bob Baffert trainee, who, if she wasn't with Baffert, might be a top choice for the Kentucky Oaks, but she is still with Baffert here. Also, last time in the Lady Shamrock beat Princess Bettine, who came back to win a stakes race at San Diego Park on the turf. Listen, a 7-2, I understand passing on her. 8-1, she's a little intriguing, isn't she?
Yeah, I think so. I was hoping she'd take a little bit more money. I'm not a huge fan of her, but the price, she's intriguing. I figured during my preview, I figured the 2 was going to get bet down the second choice. I figured the 8 was going to drift up a bit, which she has. I didn't think the 11 was going to drift up this much, though. That is a very intriguing price. You said the horse she beat last time came back to win a stakes, so not a bad. She doesn't have a bad resume. The 11 hole is not great, but 8-1. I mean, she's She should not be 8-1, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's where it kind of landed for me, was just that, like, if I was getting 7-2 on her, we would traditionally, California horses coming in to face East Coast or Kentucky horses on turf, it usually doesn't work out very well for them. So I was very much against her in this spot, but we'll see what ends up happening here. They're about to go into the gate for the Bourbonette Oaks. The last horse we're waiting on actually happens to be Silver Bullet here, so we'll see. She doesn't want to get going, but we got to get her in there. Get her loaded up, boys. Come on. Botanical is still everybody's top choice here. At 4-5, Aaron, is she still playable for a win bet?
I think she is. How dominant she's been. I think that's probably what you realistically needed to expect to get on her, and she broke beautifully, and she goes right out to the front. Here comes the stablemate. The 8 gets pounded. Last drop there, 3-1 now. That's crazy. Ooh. But yeah, the 5's in a great spot if you've got her bet here.
Yeah, and she's got an easy. I mean, there's no contesting the lead at this point. You can see that the one horse is going to sit off Renegade Rebel, a stakes winner of her own right, coming in from Mark Cassie and Rafael Hernandez. A great jockey on the Woodbine synthetic course is going to be there. The 8 Flashy Gem going to sit off in third. She went gate to wire last time out. Always at ease, the 6 horse, 43-1. Whenever you see Keith DeSormo in a stakes race at 43-1, you get a little bit nervous. Just not sure what that horse is going to end up doing, because he has a tendency to pop on these ones. 24.5. You're going to let Botanical even money walk at 24.5 and then 48.5. Vinny, I mean, this is her race to lose easily, right?
Yeah, if she's got anything in the tank, she should win this pretty easily. But
the biggest surprise to me, Silver Bullet was a back a ways, probably because if she broke from the 11 post. She's coming now. She's up to 4th, about to get 3rd. Yeah. Aaron, Botanical's just cruising.
I really thought she would get a little bit more of a test up front. Now you got the 8 coming up, so now and here comes the 11. So 11. We'll see. But they really haven't asked this 5 to run much yet.
No, he has. Yeah, they haven't asked.
Oh, look how slow they've been too. Like, if she doesn't win from here with ease, then she's not worth anything. But she should cruise home.
She should kick on here a little bit. She's getting a little squirrely.
Yeah, it looks like her stablemate's the only. It looks like her. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was an example of just don't get too fancy. 5-8 looked like the 2 best sources. Pound that 5-8 exacta. Yeah, you really never had to sweat that one.
Yeah, and Irad finished second to last. So. Yeah.
It ends up being 5-8-4-7, 30,000 Kelvin, the long shot to hit the board in 3rd, and then Miss New York at 34-1 comes up for 4th. I saw our friend Truth Exposed liked Miss New York as her long shot. It didn't get home, but Aaron, clearly these were the 2 best fillies in here. Almost 6 seconds flat for Botanical to clear that last 16th of a mile. She had everything her own way, though. I mean, she absolutely walked early.
It's going to be hard to get a better trip than that maybe ever again, right? I mean, that was great. You're out there. You're the best horse in the race by far anyway, as far as how our opinion's going into it, at least. And you're going 48 and change. I mean, that's pretty.
They just reshowed the start, and Irad got pinched very hard at the start there. So that's it makes sense why he finished that far back. But yeah,
I saw the same thing. You did there, Vinny. That right when you said, "Ooh," I looked at the screen and I could see the 2 were just getting completely squeezed out at the start. Aaron, that's sometimes a problem with horses with first-time North American starts. They're not used to how quickly American horses break from the gate, and just got pinched back and hurt.
It does happen a lot. Yeah, it does. And maybe, she could have just broke a little flat-footed, and then that happens. There's really nothing the jockey can do about it. And then sometimes it's just bad luck, so you have to rewatch it again. I didn't see it, what you guys saw there, guys. I wasn't looking at had already changed it to Oaklawn by the time that replay came up. But I mean, when you lose all chance like that, especially when you're making your North American debut, you're in a big time world of hurt. So probably draw a line through that one for her.
Well, as Truth Exposed said, Miss New York showed up in 4th, and that's better than 5th. That's always the case. I agree. All right, so let's talk about Botanical. Kentucky Oaks, preference-wise, this was my long shot coming into this race. She didn't do anything to dissuade me from this, other than the fact that Vinny, she's never touched dirt before. So we're going to Kentucky Oaks with a horse that's looked fantastic her last 3 starts now, but Kentucky Oaks, does she handle the dirt? Do you trust her? What's her price going to be, Vinny?
I hope she's a price. I mean, depending on how the rest of the Oaks trail goes, I think she's very usable. I mean, as long as she's not like 3-1. I mean, if she's 3-1 first time trying dirt, I would be kind of like, eh. But I don't see why you can't play her if she's going to be double-digit odds. She's been great. You usually can get, if she really is just a turf horse, you get one good dirt start out of them. So I think there's no reason she shouldn't be able to be played in the Oaks.
Aaron, what do you think about this filly? What would you do with her?
It's the problem horse, right? You just don't really know what to do with her. You just can't say anything bad about what she's done in the last 4 races. And look, my big thing here today is I thought she'd have to win from off of it a little bit. And so people are going to look at it and go, oh, such an easy trip. When they flew last time out, she did win from off of it. So you do have that. It's a nice thing. She's not pace dependent. It's just the dirt and what she does over it is going to be the big thing. I don't know at this point. And we're going to have to see what other horses do as well. And one coming up here pretty quick at Fairgrounds as well to kind of see what she's up against. But listen, the good ones can run on anything. She's very, very good on synthetic, and we'll see if she can do the dirt or not.
Definitely still interested in seeing what I believe she was in the 30s, somewhere 30-1 range for the Kentucky Oaks Future wager when that pool came out. So if you got in on Botanical, your odds just got, or you suddenly your ticket looks a lot better here. All right, gentlemen, let's move over. They just hit the track for the Fairgrounds Oaks, a much smaller field, but perhaps fillies that we in our racing audience and our fans are a bit more familiar with here, at least with 3 of them. You've got Hoosier Philly as your 1-5 favorite right now. The Alley's Look is 8-1. Such disrespect and pretty mischievous. Speaking of disrespect, all she did was beat the Alley's Look and Hoosier Philly in the last few starts, and she is 4-1 here. Vinny, I'll start with you because I know where Aaron went in this race. Where are you going on top in the Fairgrounds Oaks?
I like the Alley's Look. I've not been a fan of Hoosier Philly at all. She's got to beat me. I mean, if she's gonna be this price, I'm gonna box those 2 and hope they run 1-2 and Hoosier Philly just doesn't show up again.
Aaron, when Mike and I covered the Bayou Bluegrass 5, which was New Orleans Classic, Bourbonette, Jeff Ruby, Louisiana Derby, Fairgrounds Oaks, a fun, if not screwy combination. Mike Somich and I both singled in here. He singled Hoosier Philly. I mean, the fact that she's 1-5 means he had the right single in terms of, this is the horse that's going to get heavily bet. But at 1-5, can you possibly touch this horse?
No. In what world should this horse be 1-5? And maybe she wins this race today. In what world should she be 1-5? That's where I'm at with her. I went against her. I fully say, hey, maybe she surprises me. Maybe she runs a lot better today, second off the layoff and wins. If she does, pat her on the back. I'm not going to bet her at 1-5. No chance in the world I'm going to do it. Vinny and I have really aligned this whole show so far, and we've been pretty close, if not right on so far, right?
Yeah.
I went 3-4, Vinny. I'm with you, and I think you said you were going to box the 3-4. I just played a 3-4 straight in this one.
Yeah. I don't see why Hoosier Philly is bet down this much. I really don't. That last race, I know she had some excuses. I didn't think she had as many excuses as people were making for her that last race.
It's odd because everybody before the race said, oh, she's going to run off the screen. She's training so good, it's unbelievable. And then after the race, everybody's like, well, she needed one. Well, which one is it, right? I mean, right. Come on.
Right, and it's like, and I feel like half the hype around her is because last year they were like, oh, we think we're going to point this filly to the Derby instead of the Oaks. And it's like, okay, so everybody, between that and the name, I mean, it is a very good name. So, you got the probably the general public on a big day playing her, and then you have all the people who are hoping that, oh, this is going to be my outside Derby horse.
Yeah.
Which, I don't get it. I don't get it. She wins, but I'm against her.
I mean, same. I'm not going to sit here and be shocked if she wins because she has shown a little bit of talent for sure. She hasn't shown enough talent to be 2-5. Now, look, if last time out she runs really well and wins, or even last time out if she runs well and kind of just gets nipped or finishes a length behind, and you go, well, I can see it, but the way she ran does not project to 2-5 odds today,
No.
period.
And I'm looking at the pool, the will pays right now.
Mhm.
She's the favorite in the doubles by a little bit. She's favored by about $6 over the 3 in the doubles. She is not the favorite in the pick 3. The 3 is like almost $20 the favorite in the pick 3 pool.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of win money on her right now, which I don't know how you're playing her at 1-5 or 2-5.
I don't either. Now, if you singled her in your sequences like Somich and you think, hey, we're going to see that big bounce back, that's a little bit different than, hey, I'm going to bet this horse to win at 2-5. But still, I don't like it.
And based on the pick 3s, I mean, that might have been the strategy if you liked her today, because it seems like you're going to get more than 1-5 on her in these pools. I mean, she's paying the $2 double to her, right? I got to see who won the last race, because it seemed like it was a nice. No, it wasn't even. Oh, it was Spooky Channel. The $2 double right now to her is paying $21.80. That's that's a pretty good price. And the $2 pick 3 is paying $111. So I don't think she's like that hammered in the multis. You're probably getting closer to the even money line. So if you're like Somich, that's a good sign if you get her home.
Yeah, and I think, that is kind of I'm surprised that we have that kind of disparaging, numbers. But you get that sometimes, you do. And again, I think you kind of hit it on the head. A lot of fans of this horse. And what do fans usually do? They bet wins. They're not really looking, hey, how can I maximize my money on this fan horse of mine? I just want to bet this horse to win because I like Hoosier Philly. So, I think you're right on about that. By the way, real quick, the 5-8 exacta. Did you guys see what that paid at Turfway? 5-8 exacta.
No,
I flipped over and they changed it right when I flipped to the screen. What did it pay, Aaron?
It paid $6 for $1. So basically, it paid 5-1, and we harp on these shows. Sometimes you don't have to get creative. If you really, really like a favorite and you like that second choice, you can play an exacta and it'll pay 4, 5, 6-1. And so that worked out well. I just wanted to point that out as I went back and looked. I need like 8 screens. I've got too many races.
Yeah.
Well, if you had a screen on Turfway Park, you could see Rich Strike being paraded around the paddock right this very minute. Your defending Kentucky Derby champion, who was did not have the proper shipping protocols to get to Dubai, whatever the hell that meant. They didn't like that it was a free trip. Apparently, they wanted to get paid to fly to Dubai. He's supposed to be in the Turfway Cup today, and he's injured, but I can see him walking around. I don't know how injured he looks, guys. He looks like he's having fun, just being paraded around and having people adore him. So,
I mean, if they're really concerned about his stud value based on the ownership's new lawsuit, we're never gonna see him again. I
agree.
Plain and simple. Like, if they're really worried that a loss is gonna hurt him, I mean, good thing they didn't send him to Dubai, because there's not a chance that he would have been within 20 lengths of the winner today in that race. Like, it's just not gonna happen. His Derby win was great. It's a moment that we're probably gonna be talking about for 30 years, where the longest shot on the board comes up the inside. It was great, but he's very pace dependent. It's just I don't understand. I don't think if they're going for stud value, he's going to run again.
I hope he doesn't stub his toe in that paddock. That's all I'm going to say. Turfway could get sued for a lot of money.
Oh, that's great. It's not to knock Rich Strike, but it feels like he's going to be the new Mind That Bird, in the sense that Mind That Bird, I feel like it's quoted more than any other Derby winner of the last, I don't know, since Secretariat, really. It's like Secretariat, Mind That Bird. Those are the two that get talked about the most. How many years in the modern era of the Derby point system do we have a Mind That Bird? Once every 14 years between Rich Strike and Mind That Bird. So it happened. It was great. And I love the fact that people are going to keep playing that angle, just like they keep playing the Dubai horse angle, Aaron. I love it. Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's just one of those things that as somebody that watches it every day in and day out, you just have to deal with that mindset and smile, because, those bettors bet horses in the Preakness and the Belmont that never should have been bet. And that floated up prices for the shorter horses that should have been a lot shorter than what they were. So it's give and take, right? And look, Vinny said it again, the pace fell apart. You know, a few weeks ago, Race Kane won the Gotham, not because he was the best horse in the race, because he was the only closer in the race. There were 13 horses and 12 of them wanted the lead. Yep. It fell apart and he won, you know, so that's what happens. That's race dynamics, you know, and the problem with the Derby was it was really hard to project that pace because you had two Japanese runners that went out there and just blazed for no reason and never had done that before. So anyway.
Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like putting Mind That Bird in the same category as Rich Strike's kind of a little bit of disrespect to Mind That Bird. He almost like his Preakness was great. He just ran into Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rachel's not in that. Mind That Bird wins 2/3 of the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Like I feel like everybody forgets that he ran a couple very solid races after that Derby. Where I mean, the Lucas Classic was really good for Rich Strike, but really besides that, like he hasn't been a threat to win in a single race outside of that. Outside of that Lucas Classic, where Mind That Bird had a couple races where, I mean, he was a threat to pass Rachel at one point late in that Preakness. So
yeah, he was the only one you were nervous about in that race getting to her. I mean, you knew the rest she had at bay, but that he was making a run at her without any doubt. And I agree. Now that, like you said, the Lucas Classic was a really, really good race from him, but other than that, we just haven't seen much from him.
See, the fact that Truth Exposed said Mind That Bird ran the fastest 8th mile since Secretariat. I'm like, see, look, literally the two horses that I said get talked about the most get called up in the same comment.
Yeah.
Right there. If the Preakness was a mile and a quarter, maybe Epicenter would have won. How about that? No, he wasn't winning that one.
No. 0 minutes, by the way. Hoosier Philly now 3-5. So
yep.
Insanity's starting to kind of level itself out. This was open at 1-9. Dr. Miranda pointed that out. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, and from a buyer perspective, it's like I know I'm the only buyer user on this feed right now, but she's the 4th best horse from a buyer perspective in this field. The only one that she hasn't beaten from a buyer perspective, or that she has beat from a buyer perspective, is Christian D'Oro. But you got Southlawn, who was beating her, pretty mischievous, and the Alley's Look. Both of their wins last out put her over the top. I'm going to roll with Alley's Look, and at 5-1, I especially love it. This is a filly that won the Silver Bullet Day Stakes here pretty strongly. She was second before that to Pretty Mischievous, but that was her first race facing winners. She was coming off of Lasix and a couple of different excuses there. She also broke very poorly and was 6 lengths behind at one point. If she's not 6 lengths behind, which anybody's 6 lengths behind in this field, you're done. You're not winning. The Alley's Look has the field's best buyer of 89 for winning the Silver Bullet Day. It seemed like Brad Cox said this was the plan. We're going to wait for this race after that. Kind of like how Instant Coffee was waiting for the Louisiana Derby after winning the LeCompte on the same day. So for me, if the same thing is going to work for that horse, and I like him a lot there, I like the Alley's Look here at 5-1. I think that's a great value. Aaron, 2-1 on Pretty Mischievous. That's good value here too. I thought that she actually would be the one taking the money that Hoosier Philly is taking.
Yeah, I mean, I have the 3 on top, and 8-5 morning line. I thought, well, that's probably what she should be. You know, she has won twice over this track pretty easily. So she probably should be the favorite. And so 2-1, sure, I'll take it. Like I said, I tried to play this 3-4 exacta, try to get the 5 out of the number here, but we'll see. Maybe this horse is going to really surprise us all and run a huge one and run to those odds. But she'll have to prove it to me here.
All right, everybody's in the gate. Let's see if the 2 ends up going to the lead early. She's on paper was the fastest one. She's going to break out of the gate the cleanest and go to the front there. Much, much, much better break for Hoosier Philly. She actually looks like she's going to contend for the lead here, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised where she's at here. She definitely broke better, and she definitely, at this spot today looks a lot better than where she was last time. That's for sure. So maybe, like I said,
she went off at her and the 3 both went off 6-5.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
A lot of late money on the 3 there.
Well, it ended up kind of correcting itself then. It's anybody's race at this point, though. I mean, they're all bunched up there. Nobody's really looking better than the other at this point. Look at the Cassie horse kind of sneaking up there. That's interesting.
Yeah, Dr. Miranda like the 1 Southlawn. I gotta tell you, as a fan of the Alley's Look, I'm not loving that she's last to 5 down the backstretch here. I thought she'd be a little closer.
She doesn't look good, and Morales looks like he's got a lot of horse with Hoosier Philly.
Yeah, we'll see.
He looks like he honestly should probably just let her go and see what happens rather than keeping everybody in it. he hasn't
He's
moved,
gonna let
and
the
he's
3 go right past. He's gonna let the 3 go right past in this spot. Pretty Mischievous has got this one wrapped up.
I don't know about that. We'll see if Hoosier Philly's not going to respond, is she? Look at this. Now it's going to be interesting, Magic, because here comes the 4. Who's going to get up here for?
No.
Oh, look at
Pretty
this.
Mischievous is it. If not the 1, is this
Cassie.
the 1 re-rallying?
It's Cassie.
Yeah.
Cassie horse.
It's Cassie.
Mark Cassie.
Dr. Miranda's gonna get it home. 8-1.
Great pick.
Great pick
by Dr. Miranda. Really, really
Let's
good
go.
race.
Great pick.
Yep.
Excellent
Let's
pick.
go. Dr.
Listen.
Miranda crushed that one.
It sometimes you go against favorites and you had the right idea and you have the wrong horse. And Vinny and I were right to go against a favorite, had the wrong horse. Miranda was right and had the right horse. And the moral of the story is, in what world do you ever play the 5 at that price? And so that was an opportunity. Miranda took advantage of it that time.
Wow. 7. I guess it'd be 7-1 official odds here for Southland, but still,
Crazy.
any kind of pool you played, pick 3, pick 4, pick 5, those 7-1 is going to be infinitely higher than that.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had 3 fillies taking a ton of money. Hoosier Philly, that's 2 straight. There's zero excuse for her at this point. She is a well-beaten 4th in this position. Pretty Mischievous ran her race and got beat. The Alley's look, I thought, didn't have any excuses there. Holy shit, I thought that we would come out of this going, we know for sure who the Kentucky Oaks favorite is, and Aaron, I don't know who it is now.
Botanical?
Right?
Botanical.
This has been a weird. It's been a very competitive Oaks year because Pretty Mischievous didn't run a bad race there. She did everything she was supposed to do. The one just ran huge.
To be honest, I thought, because I have a 3-4 exacta played pretty strong, I thought we're in great shape because the 5 is quitting. And the 1 was on the rail, and I didn't even pay attention to the 1. I look at the 4, it's like, well, the 4's not running that well, but she's going to get up and get second. And then the 1 sneaks in there, and
Raylu took her off the rail, and that was it.
Yeah. Oh, it was a great performance by the 1. You just got to tip your hat.
Yeah, and I don't think we see Hoosier Philly around 2 turns again. I think she is going to be cut. I think she's going to be cut back, and we're going to see her. I think Amos will have his sprinter. She looked good for the first mile.
You're right, Vinny.
And that's kind of always been my thing with a lot of Amos's horses. Like he's a sprinter trainer. Like every now and again, he gets like a Serengeti Empress that can kind of do a little bit of everything. But I want this horse going 6 or 7 furlongs. I think can still be very competitive in this division.
I don't.
You don't think so?
I mean, the cutback thing could help, but she's not. She's just not running like a horse that. She looks to me like a horse that's peaked, and I don't. I think she just was really good early, and she just kind of peaked. And I don't. I mean, maybe the distance. Maybe you're right. It's not going to hurt. That's for sure. But,
right. I think that's the next step. But yeah, she definitely was a very strong 2-year-old and just hasn't taken that jump forward to 3 yet. And I mean, you see that even on the Derby trail. You see some of these horses that were very good at 2 and they run at 3 and it's like, oh, they're running the same way they did at 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
like to your point, and I guess I'm maybe being too hard on her, but she's a very popular horse still. Everybody's going to say, oh, they cut her back. This is where we're going to see her. She's 6-5 going 6 furlongs. I'm willing to bet you don't have her on top in that race when that happens.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I think she's a bet against until she beats you.
Yeah.
But just for like horse standpoint, I think that's the next logical move is you cut her back and you hope for the best. But yeah, it's a wagering standpoint. I mean, unless she even if she's against an awful field, I mean, you got to take a stab against her at this point. I wouldn't. I don't know how you can play her.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That was bad. That was worse than last time, in my opinion, because she got a perfect trip.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well.
Oh well, it happens.
Congratulations to Doctor.
Yeah, that's an excellent pick.
I wish Dr. Miranda would come on and do the Dudes Who Bet Daily in the morning with us. We could use that 7-to-1 ROI boost there.
Yeah, we could. We definitely could.
No, very happy for Dr. Miranda though that she does very hard work covering the Kentucky Oaks Trail for us at racingnews.com and youtube.com/racingnews. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. You make sure you don't miss any of her big picks and plays for the Kentucky Oaks Trail. All right, let's head back. Jeff Ruby Stakes. This is the race that produced last year's Kentucky Derby winner, and thank God this will be the last day I have to talk about that again, because I don't think it's happening in this spot. Turfway Park, race 12. We got 6 minutes to post, and right now, the favorite 6-5, Major Dude. No surprise here, Aaron. And this is a horse that super tough on turf. If he brings his turf form over to synthetic, there's nobody who can beat him, right, in this field?
Yep, absolutely. And I think that's the big key. You take to the surface, you're going to be really, really tough to beat, because you saw Congruent come over here in the not the Jeff Ruby, the Battaglia, and really run well. Well, Major Dude beat that horse fairly easily on the turf. Now, it's not just automatic that Major Dude's going to take to the surface. It is different, and he's going to have to prove that he can do it. But if he does, 6-5 is still a little low, but he's kind of the class of the field. I mean, the other one is the 10-2 Phils. He probably should be a little lower than 3-1 even, because he's got the class, but it's the same situation. Will he take to the surface as well? Those two horses, in my opinion at least, they seem to stand out pretty strongly. And if they take to the surface, it's going to be a battle between those two.
Vinny, where did you go in this race here?
I actually ended up with Wadsworth on top for Brad Cox. I like this horse. I do. Ever since they shipped him to Turfway, he's 2 for 2. He's looked very good. It's a logical spot. The horse has excellent breeding. The distance kind of would be my only concern. Is his dam is Dickinson, who beat Lady Eli back 2017, I think it was 2017 or 2018. Beat Lady Eli. The horse is bred perfectly. It's especially for this surface. Now, I don't think if he wins, he's going to be a threat in the Derby. But for this spot, where I'm not a huge fan of, I know I have 2 Phils on my fantasy team. I'm not a huge fan of these horses shipping in from other tracks to try to find the easier spot at Turfway. I won't be shocked when 2 Phils runs up the track today. I really won't. I was kind of bummed that he was running here and not in the Louisiana Derby, because this tells me they're just taking hey, we know the Louisiana Derby is going to be tough. We want to make the Derby. Let's run here. I hate that approach. I really do. So that's why I landed on Wadsworth.
Aaron, is that how you saw it with the 10-2 Phils? A horse that was competitive, but it seemed like he was a couple of the top horses. Is that why you think he's here? Because he's not as good as those horses?
I don't think, I guess is the answer, but what has he really done to say that he needs to be here? It's not, a lot of times you see this, and I'm with Vinny, I hate when they try to run for easier preps, but a lot of times you see this with horses that probably need to, right? They run 5th, they run 6th. This horse has been hit the board down there, and there's really not any monsters in this Louisiana Derby. I mean, maybe Instant Coffee's really good. Maybe Kings Barnes jumps up and he's huge today, but it's not anything, at least going into the race, that you're terrified of, especially if it means you have to switch surfaces to run in the prep. So it's odd. Now, look, Ravelli is a very good trainer, and you know what? He's very good on the synthetic as well. So maybe he knows something we don't. I think that kind of gives you a little bit of a hope for 2 Phils, but he's definitely that's weird. I wonder why he came here. But other thing about it, they kind of said right after that race down in the Risen Star, this is where they're going to come with him next. So it was the plan. Maybe we're going to, here in a minute or two, go, oh, well, that's why it was the plan. He can run on this surface. Before the race, it's very odd. It's not something you see very often.
It's not, and it's hard to kind of parse it, because he's only had one bad effort really in his life. You forgive his debut effort, and that was a Breeders' Futurity, and that's a race that produced Forte. Loggins, I wish we could see what Loggins would do on the Derby Trail. Red Route 1 was 3rd in that race. Instant Coffee 4th. So a lot of really great horses coming out of there. Heartspun being the sire, you would think that Heartspun usually portends well to the synthetic here. And you talked about Larry Ravelli, 29% on synthetic in the last couple of years racing, and Jareth Loveberry is his go-to guy. I think he's a great horse here to use in your exactas, trifectas, superfectas. I'm not going to use him to win. I feel like he's constantly proven that he's not quite the winner that you would want to see at these top levels here. Chris Mellis has got big doubles to the 5, 7, 10, 11. So let's go through those. Let's talk about Maker's Candy, a horse that a New York bred comes here for Mike Maker, tries a synthetic. Aaron, what did you think about Maker's Candy, the 5 horse?
I'm rooting for him hard because of Christopher's double, but he's not for me.
Vinny, what did you think about him here?
Yeah, same. I don't know. I mean, sometimes these Maker's horses just pop, but other times, like, I don't. He's usually not competitive on the Derby trail. I hope he wins for you, but he's not for me.
Well, he's got other horses, including the 7 Bluebirds Over for Safi Joseph, a horse that broke the maiden at Gulfstream Park and then went to Woodbine and won the Gray Stakes, a Grade 3 race, Aaron. Like synthetic, it shows up here instead of at Gulfstream because there's $700,000 purse, so I understand it. Do you like the 7 at all as a long shot?
Well, he broke well, so that's step number 1.
Yeah.
Let's see if he.
We're off and racing already. Damn.
Yeah, your four's setting the pace here, Magic.
That's what we need. So yeah, Fantastic again. That was my pick in here with Major Dude, who by the way is sitting right behind him. If the second Fantastic again decides he can't go 9 furlongs, Major Dude's gonna be right there to gobble him up. But the 7 Bluebirds Over is in the second spot. Listen, Fantastic again is not getting pressed as they hit the backside here. A horse that at every single race at Turfway Park I thought it looked great. Broke his maiden at Saratoga, which is not hard to do, even though it was on dirt against off-turf maidens. But a horse with plenty of pedigree as well. But I'm sitting here I see the Bluebirds Over. Vinny, I see your 11 Wadsworth is tugging and tugging and tugging at Landeros to go.
Just let him. Listen, I get holding him back, but just let him go. Just let him go. Just let him go.
Yeah,
if he dies, he dies down the stretch. But like most of the time, you're using all the energy to fight him. They turn for home and they're flat. Just let him go.
Yeah.
I did. 2 Phils is making a move. Major Dude's making a move. Yeah, and the 11's done. I mean, probably wouldn't have won
all because
anyway.
You fought him. Yeah.
Right. Probably wasn't gonna win anyway, but. You know, at least it was at least.
Come on, Fantastic.
Let's see.
I don't like how quickly they ranged up on Fantastic there. 2 Phils is going to take off here.
Come on, 2 Phils. Come on, 2 Phils.
He's got it.
I need this for the fantasy league.
No, you got it. You got
Jesus. Thank God.
He just ran off the screen.
Wow.
What a race from him. Nice.
Thank God.
Wow.
Thank God.
What did you say a few minutes ago, Aaron? You said we're going to sit here in 2 minutes and say, well, that's why 2 Phils showed up here instead of at Fairgrounds.
And it makes sense. Like, it made sense. I just personally, with that move, with the odds, I was not like. That's why I put him second. But I'm glad he won because I needed that in the fantasy league more than anything.
Yeah, you did. You definitely did.
I needed that. But it gives me 2 horses in the gate now if they stay healthy. So fingers crossed he comes out okay.
It really, you could tell on the turn. No, sorry, Magic, but Fantastic.
No,
it's not going to do anything. But you could tell on the turn it was coming down to the 1 and the 10. And when they got to the top of the turn, the 10 was already by the 1. It was he was just bye. See ya. That was a powerful, powerful performance. And again, it was weird to me, this move, but Ravelli, a great trainer on the synthetic for years at Arlington Park, rest in peace, Arlington Park, but for years, Ravelli would go up there and win races. So he knew this horse could take to the surface, and boy, did he. He was really good. That was a really, really nice performance.
I mean, how freaking good is that Breeders' Futurity race? Like, we talk about the Kentucky Jockey Club, but the Breeders' Futurity is coming back pretty damn strong, too. 2 Phils won the Street Sun Stakes out of that race, second in the LeCompte, third in the Risen Star, and now a dominating victory here in the Jeff Ruby Stakes. He's clearly going to the Kentucky Derby, and for him to win, not just to get the win, but for how he did it and by how many lengths over Major Dude, who is a very talented horse in his own right. Major Dude didn't run a bad race, guys. He just got beat by a great horse today in 2 Phils.
Yeah, Major Dude ran about as well as I thought he would. Yeah, you said it, though.
Who ran third?
I don't know.
Fantastic.
Oh, he did get
Fantastic
third?
got it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
had the try.
10-1-4 is your finale here.
had the try. So that was solid.
Nice.
Here's what's funny about synthetic, and everybody goes crazy when they're synthetic. By far, my best track today has been Turfway. It's not even close. I've made so much money at Turfway. It really hadn't happened. It doesn't even matter what's happening everywhere else. I hit the pick 4 and pick 5, the early ones at Turfway. I hit that exacta straight. I hit that try in the last race, like all over the card. The $20 winner in the third race. It really, I mean, it doesn't play any differently than anything else, in my opinion. It's just some horses will take to it, some horses won't, but some horses take to some dirt courses and then they don't take to other ones. So it is what it is, right? I mean,
yeah, yeah, and I mean, what I can see. I mean, Two Phil's obviously is probably going to stay on the Derby trail. I don't think they keep me. I doubt they send Major Dude to the Derby. Maybe. I mean, they got the points for second to basically be in, but I don't know if they send them.
You send him to the American Turf Derby. That's what you do.
Yeah,
you send him to that big turf race.
Yep, I think the same thing. I mean, what? Fantastic again gets what, 20 points for third there? Is it 20 or 30 he gets for third?
You get 20.
20, yeah.
20. So he's got 20. He'll probably there's a horse I bet shows up in the Lexington. If they think he can run, if they think he can run better than that, I can see that being a horse that shows up in the Lexington trying to get enough points to get in. But that's yeah. So I mean, maybe 1 or 2 horses out of this field we end up seeing in the Derby gate.
Oh, well, let's talk about him before we get out of here and move back over to Fairgrounds here. Aaron, where do you place Two Phil's chances in the Kentucky Derby? Is he a hit-the-board type? Is he someone that you think can really screw up the pace or really affect the pace, as Dave Barista said? Where do you put Two Phil's?
I don't think he's a pace player. I do think he's one that he's going to be around. You know, like he's proven he could run on the dirt. He's ran against some decent horses. What if Instant Coffee comes out here and rolls here in a minute? It's like, well, you know, he's getting beat by some decent horses there. So I think he definitely is one you can think about underneath now after this. And I mean, that was a huge race, but unfortunately for him, it's not run on synthetic. So it is run on dirt. So he'll have to move back. But you know what? Churchill Downs is a little more forgiving to a turf slash synthetic runner than other dirt tracks. So he does have that going for him.
He kind of reminds me a lot of how Simplification was coming into the Derby.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody, you know, he doesn't really run a bad race. Is he good enough to win? Probably not. He's going to be a price. Are you going to use him? Maybe. Because I felt like that was the consensus on Simplification last year. Never threw a bad race out. He always was kind of just right there. Come Derby Day, what was he, like 20-something to 1 in the gate? And like he came in, like he ended up coming in 4th and rounding out the Super. And everyone's like, oh, like that was a great effort from him. And it's like, well, yeah, everybody talked about it for 3 weeks, how that was the race we were going to see from him. Not good enough to win, but better than 75% of the field. So, I mean, I can easily see a scenario where that horse comes in 4th, you know, maybe just misses the board and comes in 5th. But I think as a winner, I think he's still a long ways away from a horse like Forte.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. And you know what? The cool thing about Forte, you know, he's going into a race where it's like, yeah, God, he's not going to face much, but he did draw the 11 hole. So maybe he has a little bit of trip issues that we see in the Florida Derby. Let's see if he can kind of overcome that. So that is something to look forward to next week a little bit. But I agree with your assessment. He seems like he's like, I'm here. I'm the horse that's there. Let's see if he can just run a little bit better than what his odds are in the Derby.
All right, let's move over. Speaking of derbies, let's head to the Louisiana Derby where Brad Cox is at. He's got Instant Coffee among several others in this race here. Instant Coffee right now 6-5 favorite. Aaron, what kind of odds were you expecting on Instant Coffee, and what is playable for him to win this race?
He's right where I thought he would be, and I think he's playable. I think he's just simply the better horse out of this group. I get that you can make a case for a lot of them as far as they're going to improve or distance is going to help and this or that. I just think it's as simple as Instant Coffee's the best horse today, right now. I think he's the one most well meant to win this race. So I think 6-5 is playable on him. If he was to go under even money, that's when I would say I'll probably sit out. But I think he stays right here where he's at.
Vinny, what about you? Is 6-5 playable for Instant Coffee in the Louisiana Derby?
I personally, yeah, I think he's a must use here. I mean, I spent all week really looking for an angle where I could just toss him. I don't think you can. Some of these odds though are surprising me a little bit. I thought Sun Thunder would be under 10-1.
Mm-hmm.
He's jumped up. Jace Road is 8-1. I'm not a fan of that horse. I don't know why he's getting played personally. But yeah, I mean, Instant Coffee, he's another one. He hasn't done anything wrong, but I feel like the knock on Instant Coffee is like, okay, well, he beat two fills last time. So that makes him look good here, but I feel like the knock on him is just like, oh, he's had everything his own way and he hasn't really beaten like another major contender. So
I would say, Aaron, my guess is why Jace's Road is from a 12-1 morning line is down to 8-1 when Instant Coffee's taking so much money. Fairgrounds, the dirt course, seems like it's kind of playing catch me if you can. Go out to, when you're going 2 turns, go out to the lead. Are you good enough to catch me? If not, I'm going to beat you. And that's kind of where Jace's Road sits here for winning the Gunrunner Stakes. Is that what you think is the reason why Jace's Road is actually taking money spot?
Maybe. I think a dry track. I think they're thinking, hey, he's so bad on a sloppy track. But dry track, he's really, really good. And he won one of the preps really easily over a dry track, here at Fairgrounds. So I think those are a couple of reasons as well. I get what you're saying, too. I think people tend to lean towards speed horses a little bit, although that didn't really help anybody in the last race we watched here at Fairgrounds, So, I get it. I think the oddness of like the Tappett's Conquest thing, like he has a jockey, the jockey's not coming. Everybody says he's going to scratch. Now he's running. Ray lose aboard. I think people have kind of jumped off that because of maybe kind of the weirdness of the week with him. But he's here, and Raylo's been doing pretty damn well down at Fairgrounds, not only all meet but today. So I still like him a little bit more than the 11, actually.
Yeah, Raylu knocked us off in the Fairgrounds Oaks riding South Lawn from Norm Cassie there. That is an interesting one that Tappett's Conquest, there were people that were just dead sure he was scratching and going to wait for the Wood Memorial. And, well, it didn't end up happening here. But he is 17-1. Dennington is 51-1. So lots of odds, or lots of money to be made there if you like Dennington. Let's go to the chats here. Alex wants to know, you got $17 left for the day, going all in. Who gets Alex's $17 win bet if you're controlling it?
Well, listen, I like Instant Coffee, so it's pretty easy for me. I mean, that's what I would do. I'm betting one thing in this race, and that's a win on him. So I can't sit here and tell you do anything different than what I'm going to do.
Vinny, same for you?
I love Shopper's Revenge. Shopper's Revenge has been my top pick in this spot for over a week now. My one hesitation is Santana. I wish it was almost any other jockey. I don't think he fits the horse well, but I think I think Shopper's Revenge has a real shot to upset this field. So that's where my money's going, especially at 16-1 right now. I'm playing him to win.
Yeah, kind of going almost the angle that David Barista is going. Shopper's Revenge and Disarm, picking Ashby. I like the Disarm. The 5 horses now taking a little bit of money, 8-1 here. Question: there's a lot of talk about Dennington though. Chris Milo wants to know, why is Dennington ice cold? Did he lose a leg in the post parade? 49-1, and Aaron, this is a horse that won over this course when a mile and a 16th, and it looked like he could keep running. Son of Gun Runner. Lots to like about him as a McPeak horse here, but why is the fact that you think that he's only 48-1?
I don't know. Now, full disclosure, I didn't use him. But I don't know. He shouldn't be 48-1. Like, if you like him, go for it. You're getting the price you need, right? I mean, or more than the price you need, I should say. So I get it. I don't have an explanation for why he would be 48-1. Sometimes you got 12 horse field and some of them just get ignored. And to be completely honest, like, some of the money that should be bet on Dennington is being bet on Disarm, right? Like, what has Disarm done to be 8-1? Like, he might win, but 8-1, he needs to be about 20-1 based on his past performances, right? So I think, he's taking a little bit of money. Kings Barnes really could win this race. He shouldn't win it at 3-1 though. I mean, it's just too short for him. I don't know that Jace's Road should be 8-1. So you got some horses that are lower than probably they should be odds wise. And that's getting the two McPeak horses. Sun Thunder at 9-1 is healthy. And so is Dennington at 47-1.
Yeah. Sun Thunder, another horse, has come up a lot in the chat. Vinny, talk to me about Sun Thunder. To me, this is a great horse to hit the board underneath, but I don't think he's got a chance of winning. Did you think he's got a chance of winning?
No, but I think, like you said, I think he's got a great shot to hit underneath. He's another one. He doesn't really you kind of know what you're going to get out of him. So I don't think that unless everybody else falls flat, that effort's probably not good enough to win. But I mean, I'm sure it would not shock anybody if he rounds out the exact or the trifecta. So I definitely prefer Sun Thunder over Dennington. If I'm being completely honest, and the board says that too. But it's hard to trust McPeak, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, but you're getting great odds. This is the time if you for the people that like playing McPeak, this is when you play them. You're getting the odds. You're getting the odds today, whereas sometimes they're 3-1, and it's but you're getting you might get double-digit odds on both of them. If you like the McPeak barn, this is your time to play them.
Aaron, if you're someone that likes the Todd Pletcher barn, and when it's talking Derby Trail, it's hard not to. Kings Barnes, the 6 horse, is your 3-1 second choice, and we haven't talked about him yet, but a son of Uncle Mo, who is undefeated in 2 starts so far, won a Tampa Bay Downs allowance race by almost 8 lengths last time out. Flavian Pratt comes into town to ride this horse for Todd Pletcher. They're 23% with pretty much an even ROI here. It's hard not to like Kings Barnes, aside from the fact that he's stepping up in class. He's running off Lasix for the first time. Either of those things a concern for you in this spot?
The biggest concern for me is he's 3-1, and he has just done absolutely nothing to deserve a bet at 3-1. That's where I'm at with him. Can he be a monster of a type horse and come in here and win? I think he can. I cannot bet him at 3-1, and I think a lot of people kind of get those two things mixed up. I don't hate Kings Barnes. I've kind of had him on my radar as, hey, this is one to look at. I never dreamed he would show up in this race and be 3-1 when they said they were gonna come here. Now you get to the field and they draw him and they're like, shit, he's the one that's going to take money. I cannot back him at 3-1. That's all there is to it. I'm not going to sit here and just be shocked. 3-1 is way too short. He does not deserve to be that price.
Vinny, the horse that he beat last time out, Mikey Bananas, second in that race, had been third in 2 previous allowances at Tampa Bay Downs. Came out of that and was 10th in the Tampa Bay Derby. Does that hurt your opinion of Kings Barnes in this spot?
It kind of does, but it kind of doesn't, because when you watch that replay, Kings Barn had no business winning that race, and he just shot like a rocket once he got free and won easily. So I don't think it mattered who was in that field. He was winning that day. I honestly thought that this was going to be Pletcher's Florida Derby horse, and that because Forte already had the points, he was going to send Forte back up to New York for the Wood. I really thought that's what was going to happen. So I'm very surprised he shows up here. I mean, if he runs that race again, if he runs his last race again, I mean, he's a major threat, which I think that's why he's 3-1. The horse has had hype since the beginning. I would not have pictured this being the spot for him. I know Pletcher has had success in the Louisiana Derby in the past, but I still think it's kind of a weird spot for him. I was definitely expecting Pletcher to keep this one in Florida until the Derby.
Yeah, you would have thinking, Forte had previous success at Keeneland in the Bluegrass Stakes. Maybe that's an option for him, but no, they're going to keep him there for the Florida Derby. But you're right, Vinny. Todd Pletcher has won this race 4 different times, so not an issue for him to ship horses a little north of Florida and go to New Orleans to win. All right, Aaron, 0 minutes to post. Truth Exposed is giving her exact try here, which is 2-6-1. How are you playing this one? What's your exact try?
I've got the stablemates on top. 2 in first. I've got the 9 in second. I did go ahead and put Kings Barnes in third. So I went 2-9-6 in this one. I almost it's one of those things. I could see Kings Barnes running a really, really nice race. Just not quite good enough, right? And then I had Sun Thunder, the 4 and 4th. So, official order there, 2-9-6-4.
Aaron, Vinny, what's your play here?
I have one. My exact order is 1-2-6-7. I've been a fan of the Charlie DeVoe horse for a while, so one of those plays for me. But I really like Shopper's Revenge here. I thought the last race was very positive, and he didn't have everything his own way. I think if he gets a better trip today, I think Shopper's Revenge really could step up. I think the added distance is really going to help this horse as well.
I'm going to take Instant Coffee on top. I'll play Disarm in second, the 5 horse, and then I will go ahead and put Shopper's Revenge in third, King's Barn in fourth. So 2-5-1-6 for me. Shotty's going 1-11-12. Shopper's Revenge over Jace's Road over Instant Coffee, and I think Jace's Road, the 11 horse, not one to ignore. Aaron, what about Baseline Beater? Any love for this horse as we're heading to the gate here?
No. No, not at all. I want to comment on Shopper's Revenge, though.
Sure.
If he wins, well, I shouldn't say I'll be pissed because, Vinny, you've got him, and that'd be great. So I'll be happy for you. But I will be mad at myself. How about? Because I toyed with ways to work him in. Because after that maiden win at Oaklawn, I really liked him. And there's really no reason to get down on him after that allowance where he got second. It's just a horrific break and trip. I question just his level of talent. And I just, at the end of the day, I was like, I just can't quite get there with him. If he does win, or even if he runs second or third, I'm going to be a little mad at myself because I do think this one's got talent. And it's two things. One, he's 19-1 and Disarm is 6-1. And two, Shopper's Revenge has run faster races than Disarm. Disarm's going to have to prove a lot. And the price is way low. So I'm with Vinny. I think if you're going to play a long shot, I think Shopper's Revenge makes a ton of sense, especially at 19-1.
I am going to be the Disarm fan club. Disarm's win at Saratoga. That's why Disarm is taking this kind of money. That's why people like Disarm. At least that's for me. That's what's get me about him. What about you, Vinny?
The win at Saratoga was nice. I also think Rosario being aboard is much better than having Santana aboard. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who's. I really don't think anybody's going to say that Santana's higher profile than Rosario. So that kind of
after the year that Rosario's had,
he definitely is not having a great year. But I am kind of going to be bummed if Shopper's Revenge wins because this is the horse magic I was telling you earlier this week. This was the one horse that I almost had a text that you sent there and pick up for a claim this week, and it was Shopper's Revenge because nobody has him in our league, and I almost pulled the trigger and I didn't because the one horse in Santana kind of swayed me. So if he wins, it's kind of gonna be bitter. It'd be good for my bank account, but not great for catching up in the fantasy league.
All right, one to go here.
All right,
go ahead.
Last horse is in. This is a great race, and we got 12 horses here. We got 12 horses facing Forte in the Florida Derby next week, by the way. So we got that going for us. Let us know what you think in the chat as we get Baseline Beater. Jace's Road and Cagliostro both decided they want to try and take off early.
Oh, well.
Oh, boy. Great job holding on to the 7 there. That was almost a disaster.
Yep.
And the 11, the 11 didn't even get out of the gate. 11 just kicked open the gate, and they kept them right in there.
Yikes.
Yeah, both assistant starters doing a great job there for the 11 and the 7. All right, everybody else has been calm in the gate. Usually when you see that happen, at least one or two around them, they get kind of screwy, and I was worried about the 6 Kings Barnes doing that, but no, he stayed pretty calm in there, so he's good. Instant Coffee still 6-5 right now, your favorite. Kings Barnes 4-1, Disarm 7-1.
I hate when they reload. I hate when they reload both. I don't know. One of those. 1 out of every 100 times the reload horse wins.
Well,
To be
everybody
fair,
broke
the
away.
7 and 11 weren't our picks to win this before that
No.
happened. So Kings Barnes with a super strong break. Look at and you can see Flavian Pratt looking around, going, "Really? I'm gonna lead this thing? Okay."
Yeah.
Boy, you're betting on horses that are getting choked, Vinny. God, Ricardo is
my
choking
God.
that one.
Yeah, right. And like that was part of the reason I liked him was there wasn't a lot of speed here, and I thought that there was a shot that he could go right out to the front. And I mean, he's not in a bad position, but don't choke him back. Just like there's no pace in here because I'm sure Pratt's surprised that he's on top right now.
Yeah.
Like.
I mean, if you're back in Kings Barnes, you got to be thrilled. This is what you want. And if you're a horse that lacks a little bit of experience, getting out in front could be the best thing.
He drifted up to 9-2.
Yeah, not a bad price. Where's Instant? Well, Instant's where he usually is. So
He's not last. He's got good position. He doesn't have anybody blocking him in. He's where you want him to be if you bet.
Yeah, I mean, this is his
3-2.
race every time. So, you knew this was.
And
where
Saez is starting to go to work, which is Saez has got to be thinking like, can I get one Derby hopeful that I don't have to work the entire track around here?
I know.
That guy's arms must be absolute rocks right now. Kings Barnes still looking good. Jace's Road is coming up on him. Cagliostro seems to be running a big race. Let's see if he can sustain it though.
If the rail opens up, Ricardo's got some horse on Shopper's Revenge.
Instant Coffee's got a clear shot here. Let's see
he had
if
to
the
go
pot's
really
ready
wide, but he's running. I don't know.
Kings Barnes is gone.
Yeah,
Kings Barnes is gone, boys.
Yep.
He is.
Wow.
Yep.
He's up the
Wow.
rail. His
Look
arm
at
up the
that.
rail.
Disarm. The good effort from Disarm.
Very.
Do
good
not discount Disarm, baby.
Wow. I mean, Kings Barnes just flat in that field.
Woo.
Wow.
Where did we go? 6'5", there. 157.3 for Kings Barnes. Instant Coffee, nowhere to be seen. Once they got going in the stretch, Instant Coffee just kind of ran flat. Is going to finish in the back half of that field. Whoa! All right, we got lots to talk about here, boys. We got a big winner here in Kings Barnes. Now perfect through 3 starts for Todd Pletcher. Instant Coffee didn't get going. Disarm with that big run there. Aaron, what is your takeaway from this race, buddy?
How is Pletcher going to lose this Derby right now?
Japan. That's how.
That was pretty serious.
Mm-hmm. That was a good effort.
That was really good.
Yep.
Wow.
Pratt rode him. I mean, right from the break, Pratt rode him like he was the best horse in the race. He didn't panic when he ended up. He was surprised he ended up with the lead. It looked like.
Yep.
He never panicked. That was. I mean, he hit him a couple times in the stretch, but that was a professional effort from Kings Barn. Hey, that was. He's gonna be single digit odds now for your for favoritism if you didn't bet on him in the last Derby pool.
That was nice.
Yeah, I mean that's what you wanted to see if you backed him. that was exactly what you wanted to see if you backed him.
So Michael Olsen had the super. He said, "I hope it's Shopper's Revenge and not the McPeak horse." I got good news for you, buddy. Shopper's Revenge got 4th in that race. You hit that superfecta there.
Nice, congrats, dude. Congrats. That's a nice. And I mean, Disarm showed why he took money. I mean, he made up ground when really nobody else did. Jace's Road ran better than I thought he was going to. Give him credit there. Shopper's Revenge ran solid. Kings Barn he just killed that. He killed that field. That was unreal. That
was awesome.
Oh
yeah. With the exception of Forte, I mean, there's no reason this horse is not. I mean, I think he was pretty heavily bet. I thought who was the other horse that was heavily bet in the futures? Was it him for Pletcher, or who was the other Pletcher that was heavily bet?
Tapit Trice.
Tapit Trice. I mean,
yeah.
Pletcher got a very very strong barn here. That was something.
Wow. Yeah. That was nice.
Super
That
impressive.
was really, really nice. And I mean, that was there was really never any doubt on that one.
It was really great. I'm trying to pull up the odds right now. So Kings Barnes was 43-1 in the Kentucky Derby pool. They just finished earlier this month. So if you got Kings Barnes, you got him at 43-1. There's no way in hell you're getting close to 43-1 after that race is over. Super impressive.
He was on my he was one of the horses in my video I did for the YouTube channel on who you should bet at a big price.
There you go.
So,
well, shit. There you go.
I hope somebody else listen. I hope somebody else listen because that's a serious horse. That was something.
I did not expect he would run that well, for sure. And I'm not shocked that he won. Like I mentioned, I wouldn't bet him at the price, but I wouldn't be shocked if he won, and I'm not. But I really didn't think he'd just gallop away from him. That was really something.
Super impressive. All right, so we've had 3 Derby preps. We've had the UAE Derby as well that we saw earlier this morning, and now we've got this one, the Jeff Ruby Stakes. So, Aaron, I'll throw it to you first. Kentucky Derby picture. Where do you put Kings Barnes? Is he top 3 for you?
Well, you lost a top 3 horse today. It's gone.
Yeah.
Probably not. I would say top 5, 6, something like that.
Vinny, where do you place Kings Barnes in your Kentucky Derby rankings?
I think he's top 3. I think he's top. I don't think he needs the lead. I think he just beat that field like that because he was better. I don't think he's a need the lead horse. I know, I already see some people on Twitter saying that like the track was playing like that. I don't think it mattered. I think if he was 3 or 4 back, I think he still beats that field. So I think he definitely moves up. Pletcher might have the top 3. He really, if Pletcher doesn't win it this year, like there's some like it would be crazy if all 3 of those horses made it in and he doesn't win, because it doesn't seem like anybody else has the stock, unless Practical Move is the other horse that I guess you could argue at this point with this 100 buyer. I got to imagine that's going to be close to 1, right? Like that's probably got to be that's got to be at least a mid 90s.
I would think. Yeah,
I guess a 98 buyer is my guess.
I haven't seen how fast the track was playing today, anything like that, but
yeah,
it seems like it's going to visually. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, so I think he's top 3 and not at least top 5. I don't think the way this Derby prep's gone. I think he was the most impressive Derby prep winner of the day.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard to argue that. And then there really hasn't been, besides Forte and Practical Move, Instant Coffee. You just got he kind of showed, I think, that he's very pace dependent. They slowed it down. They went 24 and then they went 49. They kind of slowed it down, and that you just never saw him. He was never a factor there. So I don't think he's a need the lead horse either, Kings Barn. And I think that's what makes him very dangerous. And I think a lot of people are going to overlook him because they're going to look and be like, oh, well, he walked on the lead in the Louisiana Derby.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, but he can also come from off the pace. So I think he's good.
He's impressive. That was really impressive. I like I said, I'm really surprised that he won like he did. And gosh, boy, Todd Pletcher, like you said, he might have the top 3 choices. If his horse wins the Bluegrass, he's going to have a top 3 or 4 choices for sure, depending on what comes out of Santa Anita, maybe. But that's wild.
Yeah.
Truth Exposed has a great line here that Pletcher could win all 3 legs of the Triple Crown with different horses. Forte in the Derby, Kings Barn in the Preakness, Tappan Trice in the Belmont Stakes. Wouldn't be totally surprised, other than Todd Pletcher famously is terrible with horses coming back from 2 weeks after the Kentucky Derby. They do not do well in the Preakness Stakes. He doesn't like to do it well. So If Kingsbarn shows up in the Derby, he's not winning the Preakness. That's my hot take. But otherwise, the great trio there for Todd Pletcher. Aaron, Brad Cox is the belief kind of coming into this last round of preps is that Brad Cox had lots of good horses, but nobody who was truly great this year. Instant Coffee finishes off the board. Does this kind of further that narrative for you?
Yep. Yeah, I just don't think he has the one. He's going to get a few in there, but I just don't see one that just really stands out. With that being said, I mean, what the hell happened to Instant Coffee? He's better than that. I mean, but still, he's not going to rebound from that kind of performance to go win the Kentucky Derby, I don't believe. So, yeah, I mean, he's got to be scratching his head a little bit. He was so good early in the season, and he just these horses have not materialized for him.
I feel like that's not saying to write him off for the Derby, but I feel like this is the exact same thing that happened to him with Mandaloon.
Yeah. Where
Mandaloon threw out a head-scratching effort and then came back to run a monster race in the Derby. You're going to get a price on Instant Coffee now because, I mean, everybody's going to see that whatever he finished, 7th or 8th there. Everybody's going to see that in the running line for the Louisiana Derby and just be like, nope, next. So that's at a price, I think he's still playable for exotics in the Derby because he is pace dependent, and we know you're going to get a faster pace than that.
100%. Yeah.
So
it's good. Yeah. The dynamics will be very different. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's close things out here. As far as the Kentucky Derby pick goes, Aaron, is Forte still your top pick?
Yeah, I'll stick with him. No reason to kind of go against him. But that's definitely. I just think he's a little bit better than what we saw today. But there's our horses that are starting to kind of get to him a little bit. So he'll need to progress next week. That's a big race for him next week. But yeah, I'll stick with Forte.
Vinny, what about you? Is Forte your top pick for the Kentucky Derby right now?
Yeah. I don't think anybody has shown any reason why he shouldn't be the top pick. That race first off the layoff was just that was impressive. Like that was the time I think somebody was going to beat him. I personally was hoping that somebody would, but he took that jump up from 3 to 4 that we don't or 2 to 3 that we don't always see with the juvenile winners. I think he clearly showed it. I don't see why he shouldn't improve. Pletcher's got him on that third start of the year is going to be the Derby. I think he's going to be very dangerous still. Until somebody beats him, I don't see how you don't have him on top.
Yeah, I'll make a 3 for 3 here. Clean sweep with Forte. Vinny, you nailed it. The Fountain of Youth was the time to try and beat that horse. Florida Derby, and without looking at the draw for the Florida Derby, like he's probably going to win that. And then you look and see who's going to show up in the Florida Derby, and the fact that Rocket Can, who Aaron's got raced in the top 10, was second to him in the Fountain of Youth. Rocket Can just said, fuck this, I'm going to the Arkansas Derby next time out. To me, that says a lot about Forte. Yeah, he's got to be the top pick here, but plenty of interesting moves happening today for the Kentucky Derby picture. Let us know what you think in the chat or in the comment section. Derma Sotogake, we haven't talked about him, won the UAE Derby, but you can get the replay for that at youtube.com/racingdudes and at racingdudes.com. I want to thank Aaron Hollichman and, of course, Vinny from Real Picks by Dynasty for coming on to talk about all these races with me. Vinny, especially because you covered 2 of these, so I'm real happy that you were able to join us. Gentlemen, it was a good time. It was a fun time, but we're going to get out of here. Aaron, final words before we take off.
Yeah, I mean, there is one retractor here saying it was a really slow time, and you compared it to West Willpower. Well, they ran different distances, so you can't compare it to that. So I don't know. There was only one race at 1 mile and 3/16 today.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know what you can compare it to, really.
Yeah, I mean, they went 24. He slowed it down to 49. They went 114. I mean, yeah, it wasn't the fastest race, but he didn't need to, and he drew off. It's not like he sprinted away and ran slow fractions. He got comfortable on the lead. He kicked away when he needed to. For only his 3rd career start, that was a promising effort. 3rd career start, and he was basically a push-button horse there. But I see everybody saying it was a slow time, and he walked on the lead. I don't know what else he was supposed to do. Let everybody sit last and do that. Like if he
Yeah.
Even if you keep the same final time and he comes from 8 lengths out of it and he wins, everybody's saying he's the next best thing.
Mhm.
But because he broke the best and got the early lead, everyone's like, oh well, he's not good. Like, okay, well, we'll see in a month. We'll see in a little over a month how good he is.
Well, we'll find out just how good he is, because to win the Kentucky Derby, he'd have to be as good as Justifying Apollo, winning the Kentucky Derby without making a start as a 2-year-old. But hey, it's a new era. It's a new generation of what's happening here. Groundhog says, thank you for mentioning Kingsbarns as a long shot future wager pick. Vinny, that goes to you, buddy. Good job on picking Kingsbarns for that one. Thank you to everybody who's joined us, to Groundhogs, to Truth Exposed, to everybody who's been in the chat. We've had so much fun with you today. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be live each and every Kentucky Derby prep weekend building up to the big day, so join us right here for live coverage, betting analysis, and of course, all of the opinions and hot takes that you appreciate from your favorite racing dudes. For Aaron Halchman, Vinny from Picks by Dynasty, I'm Magic. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you go to racingdudes.com. Check out the free picks for every race, every track, every day across the country. We also have full Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks coverage there. You don't want to miss it. See you then. RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track across the country. We're ramping up for the 2023 Kentucky Derby, and we want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to Racing Dudes YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.